Hey everyone, for the second part of this video, I'm going to go over the 4 different types of breathing. Not necessarily pranayama breathing, but just different types of breathing in general. And these are high breathing, low breathing, mid breathing, and the complete breath. So high breathing refers to the type of breath that primarily takes place in the upper part of the chest and the lungs. It's also known as clavicular breathing or collarbone breathing, and it involves raising the ribs, collarbone, and shoulders. And then it says here, persons with asthma, a tight belt, a full stomach, or otherwise become short of breath tend to resort to high breathing. One may deliberately draw in his abdomen and force its contents upward against the diaphragm and into the chest cavity in order to cause high breathing. And then it also says that high breathing is naturally shallow and a larger percentage of it fails to reach the alveoli and enter into usable gases exchanges. So this is the least desirable form of breathing since the upper lobes of the lungs are used and these only have a small air capacity. So yeah, this is not the good one to use. Also, the upper rib cage is fairly rigid, not so much expansion of the ribs can take place. A great deal of muscular energy is expanded in pressing against the diaphragm and in keeping the ribs and shoulders raised abnormally high. This form of breathing is quite common, especially among women, probably because they often wear tight clothes around the waist, which prevents the far superior abdominal breathing. It's a common cause of digestive, stomach, constipation, and gynecological problems. So just so you know, I'm reading just from the website here. I'm going to post it in my blog, just so if you missed something, you can always go back to the website and take a look at what it says again. So the next type of breathing is low breathing, and this refers to which takes place primarily in the lower part of the chest and lungs. It is far more effective than high or mid breathing, and it consists mainly in moving the abdomen in and out and changing the position of the diaphragm through such movements. Because of this, it is sometimes called abdominal breathing and diaphragmic breathing. Sedentary persons who habitually bend forward while they read or write tend to slump into low breathing. Whenever one slouches or slackens his shoulder and his chest muscles, he normally adopts to low breathing. We often use low breathing when sleeping, but whenever we become physically active, as in walking, running, and lifting, we are likely to find abdominal breathing inadequate for our needs. To do low breathing, when you inhale, you push your stomach gently forwards with no strain, and when exhaling, you allow the stomach to return to its normal position. So, for an example, I guess you can't see my stomach, but it's doing it. And then, so this type of breathing is far better than high breathing or mid breathing for 4 reasons that they have listed here. 1, more air is taken in when inhaling due to greater movement of the lungs and the fact that the lower lobes of the lungs have a larger capacity than the upper lobes. 2, the diaphragm acts like a second heart. Its piston-like movements expand the base of the lungs, allowing them to suck in more venous blood. The increase of its venous circulation improves the general circulation. 3, the abdominal organs are massaged by the up and down movements of the diaphragm. And 4, low breathing has beneficial effect on the solar plexus, which is a very important nerve center. So that sums up lower breathing. And to move on to the third type, we have middle breathing. Middle breathing is a little harder to describe because of the limits of variability are more indefinite, yet it is breathing in which mainly the middle parts of the lungs are filled with air. So high breathing is the top parts of the lungs, low breathing is the low part of the lungs, and middle breathing is obviously the middle part of the lungs. Where was I? It exhibits some of the characteristics of both high and low breathing, since the ribs rise and the chest expands somewhat. And low breathing, since the diaphragm moves up and down and the abdomen in and out a little bit. It has also been called thoracic or intercostal or rib breathing, but too often it also remains a shallow type of breathing. With this form of breathing, the ribs and chest are expanded sideways. This is better than high breathing, but far inferior to low breathing and the yoga complete breath technique. So to end off my video today, I'm going to talk to you about the complete breath. Most of us use 3 or 4 kinds of breathing. These may be called the high, low, and middle breathing, or complete breathing. The complete breath is a combination of high breathing, mid breathing, and low breathing. The complete breath, as defined by yoga, involves the entire respiratory system and not only includes the portions of the lungs used in high, low, and mid breathing, but expands the lungs so as to take in more air than the amounts inhaled by all three kinds of breathing together when they are employed in the shallow breathing. The complete breath is not just deep breathing, it is the deepest possible breathing. Not only does one raise his shoulders, collarbone, and ribs, as in high breathing, and also extends his abdomen and lowers his diaphragm, as in low breathing, but he does both as much as is needed to expand his lungs to their fullest capacity. The yoga complete breath is the basic technique of all the different types of yoga breathing, and therefore should be mastered before you learn the specific breathing exercises. It brings the whole lung capacity into play and is the basis of 3 specific breathing exercises. Keep in mind that this type of breathing is only done when you do the breathing exercises, so not day to day, but just when you're doing these exercises. The rest time you should be doing low breathing by pushing the stomach out slightly when you inhale, and then letting the stomach fall back into its original position when you exhale. Also make sure you are breathing through your nose and not your mouth. That is one of the most important things to remember about yoga breathing, is to breathe through your nose. But yeah, so I'm just going to try to do an example here of the complete breath for you. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And so this is what I think it would look like. Ready? So something like that. Just a nice, big, deep breath. Raises the shoulders, raises the collarbone. Deep breath through my nose and exhaling through my nose. Just nice and relaxed. Felt very nice. And yeah, so that is the complete breath. I will continue the rest of everything you need to know about yoga breathing in my next video or 2. I haven't quite decided yet, but yes. Also, P.S., since my videos are getting annoying and long, please comment and let me know how I can make my videos more interesting and more exciting than just me sitting here and talking to you. Alright, thank you. See you guys next time.